Good evening. Welcome to another satirical episode of Diatribes from the voice of doom. Now here's your sardonic and snarky host, voice of doom. Hello. Not so sweet. So I won't play very much of that. Don't want to face charges of copyright infringement. I'm going to try something completely different. To quote the not late and great John Cleese, and now for something completely different. Because I'm getting sick of myself doing the same thing over and over again, so I'm going to try to relinquish a bit of the power of Diatribes and hand the show over to a couple guest stars. Something I've never done before, and I hope it works out because I'm taking a big chance with my fans to bring on these two guests. Now, my Diatribes have been off the cuff, and sometimes I use facts as I find them, which may not be facts, maybe disinformation, misinformation, but trying to find information that can be useful to people. But I realize I'm very ignorant, very stupid, and I don't have the expertise to discuss certain things I really shouldn't be. So I'm going to delve into the education system a bit and how things are from an expert's point of view. So our two guests today will be Mix Vixen and a librarian of unknown pedigree from the public school that I found. I invited them to come and take control of my show, so there is going to be a bit of a break while I fetch our guests. So let's just leave it right there, and we'll be back with our guest. Good evening, everybody. I am Mix Vix, Uranus, and I want to thank Voice of Doom for allowing me to come on his show and give you a little lecture about biology. I am a biology teacher. I teach first and second year biology in the local middle school. Now, as you can see, I am not a biological male nor a biological female. That is one of the first things I will be teaching in my class, is that all these concepts are social constructs and should be discarded. But we have to wait for the rest of the class to come in. I think most of them are in the transition closet still. And it takes a while to bind, and it takes a while to put on makeup correctly. So we will give them a few minutes. But I must warn all you students wandering in that if you're more than 20 or 30 minutes late to class, you may miss out on some of my lecture, and it will only hurt your performance. We won't talk about what performance that is. Now, my class basically discards most of the given theories of biology. As I've said, I'm neither biological male nor female, and I like to go with the title Mix, and you could call me Max. Mix and Max. Those are my pronouns that I prefer. Now, I'll understand if you forget once in a while, but I don't want you to make a habit of it, or you will be expelled for being phobic against whatever I am. Now, let's talk biology. I do not want to get into the details of cellular regeneration, I do not want to get into these pesky names of body parts, because it's a lot of memory work and you won't have any use for it later. Everyone knows what an eye is, everyone knows what a nose is. We don't need to know all the bones. And genetics will not be part of the curriculum because, as with biological sexes, genetics is a social construct created by males who like to hunt, and especially males who vote for a horrible president who almost ruined this country. But I will not speak more on that. I will say that our curriculum, my curriculum, will consist of determining what the truth is about biology. We are not going to accept the given facts. As you can see, you have no textbooks because we will dispense with those. We are going to discuss biology from a new standpoint. Now, there's no sense in learning body parts when they may not apply to you. You may have a part on your body that you don't want to have, and so why should you know about it? Why should you acknowledge it? So we are going to delve into the nature of biology without actually learning anything. So this should be a pretty easy class to pass, and I'm noticing a lot of our students are coming in. You look beautiful today, they look very nice. She is all bedecked, paying tribute to Queen Elizabeth during her coronation. It's very beautiful. It's no wonder you took so long to get to class. And that binding job is very good, I kind of admire it. I can barely notice anything sticking out. And we don't want anything sticking out, do we? We want to be undercover. So we will allow the 70% of the class which needs to use the transition closet before they come to class. I know this is an early class. I know it's 8 in the morning. You just got to school and it takes a long time to prepare. But I welcome you all to biology, and I want to again thank the Voice of Doom for allowing me to explain biology as it really is, and realize that I do not want to be referred to as anything, and anyone who does faces expulsion, revulsion, and you will be removed from social media for the rest of your life. But other than that, enjoy the class. And I'm going to give up the rest of this segment to one of my cohorts and peers, the new librarian, which we just got, and I believe they are going to be a very good addition to our school. I can just tell. So, without further ado, I will leave the stage and we will hand the baton, kind of double entendre, hand the baton over to our librarian, who I don't know her name and I don't know if it's a her, but we will say their name when they get here. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Princess Stiletto, and my pronouns are Dix and Dax. So you may call me Dix Stiletto, or you may call me Dix Princess, but most of my students call me Princess. And I am the librarian at the local school, and I want to tell you about some of the great things we have at the library right now. Most people don't realize that we changed our content of our libraries. We've gotten rid of a lot of old, dusty books that nobody reads anymore and replaced them. Now, to make room for the new books, we had to get rid of the classic section, because nobody wants to read those long books, and most of them are very wrong about everything. We got rid of To Kill a Mockingbird, racist. We got rid of all the Faulkner because it made fun of poor people. We got rid of Les Miserables because it's just too damn long. We got rid of Moby Dick because we must be kind to the whales and not be hounding them to their death. We got rid of Uncle Tom's Cabin, racist to the core. We got rid of Little Women for obvious reasons. And it made a lot of room for these new books. Now, I can't tell you about all the titles. I cannot. There's too many. We made half the library dedicated to LGBTQ+. And the shelves are full, and we need to buy more shelves. Now, some of the titles we have: Julian as a Mermaid, 10,000 Dresses, The Hips on the Drag Queen Go Swish, 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 My Awesome Brother, My Dad Thinks I'm a Boy, Phoenix Goes to School. These are all very good books to teach empathy, to teach understanding, to teach acceptance. There's nothing wrong with any one of those books. They have no racism in there whatsoever. There's no white people in any of them. Now, I don't want you to think that we're on a one-track path with only having trans books. We have a lot of queer and gay and lesbian books also. So I don't want you to worry about that. Now we have the classic, the one that will go down in history with Dickens, Hardy, and the rest of those white guys who we got rid of. Heather Has Two Mommies. It's already reaching that point of where it is a classic. LGBTQ plus coloring book. That's very good for the little kids who haven't quite learned to read yet. They can get the gist. Queer heroes. How many heroes were queer? Well, let's go back in history and see. You can get that book and find out. Pool Boy is a very good book because many gay boys are grappling with their sexuality, and they do not want to talk to their parents about that. They do not trust their parents. They think their parents will have them taken to some sort of facility if they say that they might be gay. So it's good to have an adult, a male adult mentor in your life if you are a 15-year-old boy who can teach you if you're gay or not. So that's a very good book. So I'm very proud of our library, and I hope that we can get more books of this ilk. We've ordered 300 copies of Critical Race Theory. We've ordered 300 copies of Black Lives Matter, because that will be required reading for every student to pass the third grade. And we have a lot of plans for the library. As you can see on the walls, if you come in, they're decorated in brightly colored rainbows. So it's a very happy place. And the best thing about my library is when the kids come in and ask me questions, I will answer them. And we had a very good conversation yesterday about my love life and my 5 partners and the dog. And the kids were very interested, and even a few kids came up to me afterwards when the library session had let out, and they said, yeah, they kind of want to be a dog too, and they've even thought about being with dogs. So we've had a good, rapport. And I've made it clear to students that they should not talk to their parents about much, because they will only be ostracized, reviled, and exiled. So if they have any problems, they can come straight to me, and I will help them. I will help them by telling them my own experience of how many lovers I've had of every ilk. And I will caution them against certain diseases that may be procured by such behavior. I will tell them from experience about that. But I wanted to just give you a little rundown on our library, and I hope you come and visit us soon, as long as you're not a parent. So thank you, and I'll give the show back to Voice of Doom, and thank you, Doom, for allowing me to come on. Okay, I'm back, and I want to thank Mix Uranus and Dick Stiletto for coming on the show. It helped me out a lot because I didn't have to do as much work. And I was backstage with Mix Uranus when Princess was talking, and we had an interesting conversation, and she said she's really proud of the fact that her students come to after-school biology classes. She's got the most after-school students coming in for help, and she spends a lot of the time helping them with discovering who they are and who they want to be with. And she gave me her entire history of every person she's been with since she was 11. So I had to listen to that, but it was interesting, so I hope you enjoyed our guests. And I hope I pulled it off with this show, because I have no idea how this is going to come out. And as an afterthought, having nothing to do with anything, I might do some good diatribes once in a while and have guest stars that need to be seen. So if anybody has suggestions about how to get more exposure without paying too much money, I am all ears. I would love to see your comments. And the reason I said that is because my kid took a video with his phone, the kid that's kind of a problem child, of a band that his friend's brother was in, and put it on his Facebook page, and he looks at it and he goes, "Oh, I got 500 hits already in a week. I don't think I've gotten 500 hits total in the 200 videos I've done." So that got me a bit irked, because I'm like, how did you do that if you just put it on your Facebook page? I don't know, I just put it up there and people went to it. So my other kid says use more keywords, but I don't know. I don't use keywords much when I'm searching, because I just go to my homepage and just start delving into the sewage from there. But any suggestions on that front? It got me a little bit jealous that he got 500 hits in a week of a band in a nightclub that's a dive. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. I think that was a good one. I'm hoping it's one of my better ones, because I've never tried anything like this with the guest stars. So I'll bid you adieu until next time. There will be another calamity soon to talk about. Bye.